The Lagos State government plans to generate 3,000 megawatts of embedded electricity in 2017. The plan, which is, however, subject to approval, is expected to harness a possible energy mix in the state. According to the Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Mr. Oluwole Oluo, other plans in the state's power intervention program includes a power theft framework.
Put it that a lot of things with respect to that will still depend on the final approval of the Lagos State government and the governor. But conceptually, we have the ambition to generate 3,000 megawatts, working with the regulators and the stakeholders, including the DISCOs and the OEMs. And the plan is also to make it off-grid. But we'll be in a position to give fuller details when we launch our embedded power program sometime early next year. But by and large, the target is to do 3,000 and to make it off-grid. We're looking at the conventional one, which is powered by fossil fuel, and we're also looking at renewables, but not all the renewables, particularly for solar. We're not very sure now for two reasons. One, Lagos, we don't have the space for extensive solar panels installation. So we must go for those that will optimize the kind of land size that we have. So we are combining wind energy options with this embedded power program that we want to do. So wind is clearly part of it. You see, we've been interacting with the regulators, and I think the regulators, they are more flexible at this time for two reasons. Everybody agrees that there is a need to increase generation of power in Nigeria in the first instance. An economy of our size, the largest in Africa, we cannot power it on those kind of 4,000 megawatts that I've been talking about for long. So, to the extent that the regulator is also aware that the pricing we have for power now is not cost reflective. And maybe they may be a little reluctant to increase the tariff at this time, but the good thing they've done is to accept the willing buyer, willing seller option. In which case, even if we were planning an embedded power program, we can reach out to the consumers and enter into some understandings with them, sign power purchase agreements with them, and make sure the regulator gives the go-ahead for that to happen. Because power is not like any other commodity. You cannot negotiate it spot. It has to be a long-term contract, and there must be some guarantees for the people to go and now raise money to build the plant, get the gas that power it and the rest of them. So the relationship with the regulator is very charming, and we'll continue to keep it like that. Lagos State currently is generating about 48.6 megawatts. About 4 of it is from solar, because we use solar to power schools in the rural areas and to also power health facilities in the rural areas. We have 5 independent power plants. What we're doing is captive power, to generate the power and use it to power government facilities. But what we're talking about now, and the ambition we have now, is embedded power, where you generate the power and give it to the DISCOs based on negotiation to get it to the economy, to the people and to the businesses and homes. That's where we are. The framework we have presently is not sustainable. There must be a new law to guide the power theft. The federal government has been doing something on that, I think, over the last 2.5 years. We are going to get a copy of that in another week or two. As we speak today, the Lagos State government is determined to support the distribution companies to put together a power theft law that will make sure that when people use power, they pay. And when people bypass power, they are arrested and prosecuted. And this is very important, because in the power chain, it's a cycle from cash to cash. So if you spend your money putting the power plants in place, paying for the gas, and you generate, distribute, and it gets to the end users, and the end users don't pay, you are not going to be able to pay the people who have generated the power, and you are not also going to be able to pay for gas. So that's why the collection is a major part in the chain that keeps the power sector running. So Lagos is very, very interested, and we're committed to making sure that we give the DISCOs all the necessary legal and government support that they will require to make sure that when power is distributed, people who have used this power, they pay for it. Based on the Power Sector Reform Act, it is the responsibility of the DISCOs to meter people and to pay for the cost of metering. That is regulatory. Even where consumers pay money for meters, that money is assumed to be a loan to the distribution companies, which the distribution companies will pay back, not in cash, but with power credits. So ultimately, the obligation to meter people still rests with the DISCO. But for the Lagos State Power Intervention Plan, it's going to be holistic, and all costs will be integrated, including the cost of metering, because there is no point providing power and you can't meter the people that are going to utilize this power. It's going to create a lot of confusion and probably a lot of resistance. So that's the only way we can put an end to this estimated billing. So for Lagos State, if we pick some areas that we are going to intervene, metering will be an integral part of the intervention process.